Hello, everybody. Okay, I want to start by just making sure that everybody can see and hear me. I know there's a number of people on. I've turned on the chat. So if you could just let me know by sending a message that you can see, or for now, see me, or before see the PowerPoint presentation. Just by typing in something in the chat area, just saying, yes, I can see you. That would be great. Great, thank you, Pauline. So at least one person can see me. I'm going to assume the rest can too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Most people are in the view mode, it looks like. So what I'm going to say, good, thank you. So you can see, and just excellent. Thank you, Suzanne, Sadik, and Pauline for confirming. Okay, the only other thing I want to share before we get started is if you ever see, there's a message I'm going to put in the chat right now. If you see this message during the webinar and it seems unusual because I'm talking and suddenly this message comes up, just be patient. It means that maybe there was a bit of a connection issue either on your side or with mine for a moment. So if you know what the F5 key is, you just have to press that and it refreshes the screen and then you should be able to get into the webinar again. Don't be frustrated at all and stop the webinar because it's still continuing, okay? And if anything goes terribly wrong, you can listen to a replay. I know it's not as good, but you can listen to that afterwards. So here is the message you might see, okay? So don't be alarmed by it. Doesn't mean you're kicked off. Just means to be a little bit patient, press the F5 key. Let's practice patience. This is about meditation, okay? The best we can. Okay, that's it for that. And if you have any questions, I've got question time at the end. We'll have about 10 minutes for that. You can place them there, again, by typing them in. Or if, because I texted a number of you that gave me your phone number, if you rather text me, either during or after, that's fine. And I will address those at the end, okay? So I'm gonna turn the chat off. First, I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. And before I turn the chat off to everybody, is there any questions before we begin? I'll give you a moment just to express anything there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to turn the chat off so we don't distract each other and get into the presentation. Okay, so welcome and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Julie Smith. If you don't know me, I'm going to be hosting the webinar tonight. And I want to talk to you about my approach to meditation, which I call Success Through Stillness. I'm going to start with an overview, but I want to say that this presentation will be similar to last week's, but I know a lot of you tried to get on and the spaces were all taken up. It was full, so you weren't able to register. So I've got some new stuff. If you did listen to the replay, don't worry, there's a new meditation, a couple new tips. So there is some new stuff here for you as well. But to give you an overview quickly, just to say that the purpose of this webinar, seminar, or whatever you want to call it, is to give you a taste of meditation if you haven't practiced before. And if you have practiced, is to really kickstart a regular meditation practice. And I'll talk about regular because that's the key to getting any kind of success that we're seeking. And so today I'm going to just quickly give an introduction of myself in case you don't know me, what the approach is about. But I want to focus on giving you some practical tips so you can use meditation after this and actually do a live guided meditation. And I think very important is have some time for question and answer, because that's the idea of doing a webinar rather than, I am spending time talking at you per se, but to give you an, a capability to feed back and ask questions as well. That's really important. So a little bit about me. I come from a corporate background. I've been in the corporate world for about 20 years in the profession, information security, if that's of interest. And I got to tell you, I'd say 15 years ago, probably, I would have thought meditation was, I say, kind of cuckoo bananas, in the fact that I was this corporate logical type person. And so I just didn't see the value in something like this. A bit foo-foo, I say, for me. But I tried it for the first time 11 years ago, and I was in Nepal at that time. I was just kind of roaming through the world. And to be honest, it just changed every aspect of my life. I started because I just wanted to feel more grounded. I was very in my head, constantly thinking, thoughts constant, couldn't even turn off to go to sleep, for goodness sake. So it helped me with that being more grounded. But I continued because it, affected every part of my life. I had pain issues that I was dealing with, and that alleviated that. I was able to focus more, my sleep improved, emotional balance, all of these things. And so that's what I find most of my students go through that. They start for one reason and then they continue for many other reasons. But I've been teaching now for 5 years, and I think it's about 1,600 people that I've taught so far. It's definitely under 2,000, but in that range. And every year I go on a silent retreat, at least a 10-day silent retreat. And I tend to go to, I say, the root of meditation. So I've practiced in Nepal, India, Thailand, those places, and other places, Scotland as well. And here in the UK, of course. But my main teachers, one of them is from Mumbai, who's taught me all about chakra meditations. Don't worry if you don't know what that means. And another one of my main teachers is Alan Wallace, and he's a student of the Dalai Lama. And he was a monk for many years, very, very valuable. If you can look him up on the internet, and there's all sorts of good information there that he puts out for free as well. An amazing person. So that gives you a bit of background on me and where I came from, and where I've learned from, if that makes you feel a bit more comfortable. But really why we're here today is because I'm thinking you're probably looking for a lasting transformation and you want to use meditation, or you're interested about meditation, how that can help you do that. And I talk about my approach, which is success through stillness. And I think some people almost think success shouldn't be used with meditation. But it's just a natural desire. We want to be successful. And, that could mean different things for different people. Maybe one person that's getting a promotion, a better relationship, more internal balance, better sleep, all of these things. Yeah. Success means different things to different people. And it's not a bad thing, yeah, to strive for success. But, I will talk about my message, which is going inward to achieve that external success. This is the key. So my key message to you is that the gateway to your success is more through stillness. That was kind of a aha moment for me. I thought it had to be through stress and chaos, but it doesn't. It doesn't mean you have to be busier. You can, see the chaos around you, but be internally balanced. And trust me, it's a faster, easier route to success is going through stillness. And so how that relates to meditation, people ask me, what is meditation? This mystery, what is it? And really, it's about training your mind. So to be more aware, but to connect to this stillness, train ourselves with our mind to connect to the stillness that's within us. It's always there. And when you learn to be still for a moment, tune into that stillness within you, something really special occurs. And it gives you a different perspective. And it's just something that has to be experienced. So again, we are talking about external success, yes, but it's not about changing anything in our external world. That's what we tend to be doing is, I need a promotion, I have to do this, this, and this. But it's about working from the inside out. And again, it's just the fastest, easiest way to success. And you're going to end up happier and more fulfilled if you do it this way. So again, hopefully I'm not going too fast nor too slow, but this little diagram, I think, explains the purpose of what we're trying to do. So the aim, the purpose is that we're often in this place of disconnection. Yeah. And really, most of us are in somewhere in the point between these two kind of, on this continuum. Yeah. These two extremes. Where we're disconnected sometimes and very connected at other times. And when I say connected, what I mean is to ourselves, to others, to our environment, all of these things. And I mean, when I talk about ourselves, lots of times when you start to meditate, you don't even realize I'm not even connected to my own body. The sensations I'm having, the emotions, we're just shut off from ourselves. Our minds, it's just like our minds are controlling us, instead of us being aware of what the mind is doing and being able to bring it back to where we want it to focus. So that's what this is really about. And again, it's from moving. The aim here is to move from a place of disconnection more towards a place of being connected. Okay? And if you have questions about this, we can ask at the end. So my approach to this is very simple, actually. It's 5 steps, and it's based on 2 main principles, and that's about releasing and realigning. And when I say releasing, so the first step is about physical relaxation. We're going to experience that today. That's our focus today. Simple. Physical relaxation of the body using our mind. The second step is about emotional release. So being more accepting, being more forgiving, letting go of the guilt that's within us, all of those things. The third step is about release again of the mind. So it's like decluttering the mind so we can focus, we can be more clear. All of us want that. And the fourth step is about that alignment, realignment. When I'm talking about connecting to inner stillness, it's about connecting to who we really are, the essence of ourselves. And the fifth step is about compassion and connecting to lovingness for ourselves, for others. Okay. But again, I wanted to just outline what those steps are. Very simple things. And there's various techniques that you can use at each of those steps. But the good news is you just need to practice those 5 steps. And over time, the experience becomes deeper. You become more connected, more expansive. Okay. So again, I hope that seems very simple. And today, like I said, very simple. Release of physical tension. That's what we're going to be focusing on. I'm going to introduce you to a technique that allows you to do that. Okay. Yes, right. Next slide is key points, because before we get into the actual meditation, which is key, I want to give you a couple key points about how to meditate and some success factors, because I can't leave these out. The first one is about a commitment to regular practice. You can't be successful without doing a regular practice. It just can't happen. If you read lots of books and have a good theory about things, it's not going to help you. And when I say a commitment, it's a commitment to yourself. Yeah. And when I say regular, this is a key point too, is that I mean 3 to 4 times a week, you'll have an impact. You know, great. If you're doing it every day, fantastic. But at the beginning, I find too many people make themselves try to do it every day, and they just feel like a failure when they don't do that. So if you can manage to do it 3 to 4 times a week, that's a good beginning point. Okay. And again, when I say this is so key, think of it as you just have to form a habit of the mind. So I think of it like tennis. The pros are out there practicing every day so that when they get on the court, it's just natural. Yeah. And that's what we want to do. So we want to be able to connect to this place inside of us so that when situations come upon us in everyday life, we're already practiced enough to use those tools to center ourselves. So it's this idea of, wouldn't it be nice if I get in a situation at work or wherever, I'm able to use the tools to center myself, and then I'm at my best. I bring my best forward. Okay. The second point is about interactive guidance. And that's why I'm having a webinar, because I feel it's important when I was starting my journey to be engaged, to ask questions, really important. And no matter what level you're at. So I still have a teacher. My teacher has a teacher. So it doesn't matter what level. You're always, if you want to get the depth of the experience and growth, you have to really continue down a path with the group and teacher is what I suggest. And again, why? Just statistically, you're more likely to continue it than being on your own. Again, the growth, the depth, getting the support. And some of you might be thinking, oh, you're trying to sell me on your classes. And well, that's not a bad thing. But the key bit is that pick a teacher that resonates with you, someone that you feel you can trust, that feels right. Go with your gut. If that's me, great. But if that's not, find somebody that does. That's the key bit. I've met some great people. They weren't meant to be my teachers. That could be the case for you as well. So just go with what fits. Okay, some practical tips before we get started. First one is everyone asks about posture. Nothing fancy for today. Just be in a comfortable position where your feet are flat on the floor and you're sitting erectly but comfortably. That's what I suggest if you're in a chair. If you're a practice meditator, go ahead and lie down only if you're practiced. Okay? Don't be sitting with your back up against a wall, though. That's one thing. Won't go into why. Second one is about how to deal with distraction. I find it just becomes a sense sometimes that we're fighting our own mind, even in meditation. So know that you will be distracted. There will be thoughts going around in your head. Maybe you're getting pains and itchiness, or sounds can be a big distraction. The key thing is just to acknowledge whatever that distraction is. Be aware that you've been distracted. Yes, the mind has wandered, and then simply bring it back to what you're supposed to be focusing on, the object of your meditation. Okay, most likely the breath today, and the body points. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay, and the third practical tip, which is new for this week, is if you start to feel tension, and I mean tension in your body, busyness in your mind, tension, unease, simply go back to releasing the breath, which we're doing at the beginning of this meditation, and just relax. Allow yourself to let go. Just get into that mode of, as you breathe out, you feel like you're breathing out all the tension in your mind, your body, and just simply focus on that. Make it really basic. Okay, cool. So we'll do the guided meditation. I am going to just quickly check to see if any of you have any questions at this moment. Okay. Is everybody okay? Do they have any questions at this time? Okay, good enough. Back to the presentation then. Good. So what we're going to do today is a very simple technique. I'm going to guide you through it. You don't have to do anything. And the reason I have this picture on screen is you can do this meditation open-eyed or closed-eyed. If you're a beginner, I do suggest closed eyes. Okay. But if you're comfortable leaving your eyes open, this is a very nice picture that can help you focus. Try it either way, up to you, go with what feels right for you, okay? So what we're going to be doing is simply using the breath to relax. I'm going to then ask you to become more in touch with your body, mindfulness of body sensation, that's what this is called. And then we're going to use the breath to release any tension. So just follow the guidance and start by getting into a comfortable position. In a moment, I'm going to ring a gong. When you hear the bell, simply begin by closing your eyes and just relaxing into the guidance that I give you. And start by taking 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Breathe all the way down into your abdomen. Really puff the abdomen out. Feel the breath moving into the abdominal region. And then just release 3 times. Long, slow, deep breathing at this point. Very controlled breath. 3 long, slow, deep breaths. And after that 3rd breath, just allow your body to breathe. No controlling the breath anymore. Just feel the body surrendering to each breath. You don't have to try to make anything happen. Just allow the breath to occur, like it's sweeping in and out. And become aware of the natural sensations and movements that are created in your body as you breathe, without trying to make them happen. You'll probably feel some sensations happening around the area of your nose as the wind of the breath moves in and out. You may feel slight movements in the body, the chest or the abdomen rising and falling. Just allow these things to occur and be aware of them. Tune into your body for a change. Pay attention to how the body breathes. And just let the breath be. Feel the movement. Allow the movement to simply relax you as you follow each breath. And remember that if you find the mind has wandered off, simply acknowledge that distraction, whatever that distraction is. Say, yes, the mind has wandered, and simply move the mind back to the breath. Very focused on the breath, allowing the breath to occur, noticing how the body responds to each and every breath. Tune in to the body through the breath. And allow yourself to feel that deep sense of relaxation, of releasing, especially on that out-breath. Allow the out-breath just to cleanse, to clear you. Allow yourself to feel that as you breathe out. It's like that sense of relief. Like, just letting the breath out, feeling all the tension in the body and the mind, simply being released by the breath. Allow your muscles just to surrender to gravity as you breathe out. Like the breath is this gentle gust of wind blowing through you, releasing any tension, busyness in the mind, restlessness. And just follow that out-breath all the way to the end, feeling that sense of relaxation as you breathe out, that sense of surrendering, letting go, and releasing. Without trying to make anything happen, just allow it to occur. Allow yourself to be in harmony, your natural state, just by following each breath in silence for a few moments. And now turn your attention further inwards. Become very aware of your body. Simply start by taking your attention to the top of your head. And just feel the energy, the sensations that are there. Just tune into your body. Pay attention to it. And then begin to scan your body, bit by bit, moving downward at a pace you're comfortable with. Just stopping at each part and noticing, what do I feel? What sensation is there? Tune in with awareness. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make something happen. If it's itchy, just recognize that. If you feel heat or tingling, just be with that. And then when you're ready, move on to the next part, bit by bit by bit, going through your body. Simply tuning in. With awareness and with purpose. Don't be wandering all over your body. Move from head to toe gently at a pace you're comfortable with. Simply tuning in. Being aware, being mindful of your own body sensation. And remember to go at a pace that you're comfortable with. If you've already reached your toes, simply begin again, moving upwards this time. It doesn't matter where you are at. The important thing is to simply tune in, be aware of your own sensation in your body, comfortable with whatever is happening, being with that point. Any distractions you feel, simply acknowledge them, acknowledge those distractions, and move the mind back to the body. Continue in silence for a few moments. And now, as you continue to scan your body bit by bit at your own pace, when you find a point where there's uncomfortableness, maybe some tension, maybe some pain, an itch, whatever that is, simply imagine that you're breathing into that area. The next time you breathe in, just breathe into that region of your body, giving it some space. And then as you breathe out, imagine that you're releasing all of that tension simply by paying attention and moving the breath through that region. Simply let the tension go with the out-breath. Feel your body respond to your mind. Feel the body giving way to the breath, allowing the tension simply to melt away. Just let the breath flow through that region, melting away the tension. And then continue on to the next point, scanning your body with your mind. So really tuning into each part where you feel some uncomfortableness. Simply breathe in and release the tension. Continuing inside, allow yourself to relax into this process. Really let the body go like it's melting into the chair. Your feet are getting heavy on the floor. Simply relax. Tune into the body and let the tension go. And for these last few minutes, simply take your mind back to the breath, allowing yourself to feel the breath move in and out freely, naturally. No controlling the breath. If you begin to question, is this breath right? Am I breathing too deeply, too softly? Simply try to let that thought go. Pay attention to the breath without trying to control it. As much as you can, just relax into it. Feel the breath moving through your body, again feeling that sense of deep physical relaxation as you let the breath go. Feel the tension simply slipping away. And with the sound of the bell, when I ring the bell 3 times, you can rise from the meditation, doing so in your own time. Only open your eyes when you feel ready to do so. Okay. So I'll let you take a moment to feel comfortable again as I just go over some of the last points. Simple stuff, just a summary. I think some of the key points today are, first of all, your gateway to success is through stillness. I talked about those 5 steps. We actually experienced the first one, which is allowing yourself to come back to that sense of harmony. That's, again, very natural. We start having stress and then making chaos within our own body. Here, we're actually allowing it to go back to its natural state. Another key point is committing to regular practice. That's so key. I know a lot of people go up and down with practice, and just remembering that it is key to find some consistency to that. Seek whatever guidance you need to help motivate you, but it's always within you to make that commitment. And sign up for interactive guidance. I really recommend that. That's when I started really building and growing with meditation. So the next steps. There is a webinar replay. I'm going to make it available so you can share it with other people as well on my YouTube channel, and I'll send this all to you afterwards. It's available for a week so that you can practice with it. I'm going to send you a guided meditation, practice with that as well. That gets you started. And sign up for the next webinar if you want something free. This is the way to go. I'm having them monthly, and on my pages I talk about why monthly, and you can tune into that. Or if you want to sign up for a class, if you're in London, by all means, I'll give you some information about that. But like I said, if you wanted experience to a deeper level, that's what I really recommend, is somehow just getting the guidance. Okay, so let me just go back to that, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Okay, I think I will. Okay, I've got a few questions here. So what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna answer the ones on the chat first. Isabel can't hear me. I think Isabel might have gotten that to work. I cannot see a picture. Okay. Joe, when meditating and looking inwards, what is the best way to deal with and be with one's emotions? Oh, goodness, okay. Emotional balance. I teach a lot about that, Joe. Actually, it might even be worthwhile if that's something you really want to delve into, to talk to me separately. But there are very specific meditations that you do. I find mindfulness of emotion is very good, because no matter what you do for meditation, you can just do breathing work and you'll start to connect with yourself at a deeper level anyway. Yeah. But if you actually do emotion or do meditation on your emotion to become more aware of them, this is a key starting point, because you realize, actually, gosh, I'm trying to not stay in touch with them. Yeah. So that's what we tend to try to push them away. So it's becoming comfortable with your emotion is very, very key in all of this practice. And then I teach a quite specific way. Again, what I'm talking about is this sense of release. Same back to those 5 steps. It's about being aware of them. It's about allowing yourself to release them, okay? Without kind of judgment on yourself. When I talked about guilt, that's a big one for everybody. So I hope that answers your question. If not, get back to me again about it. Or let me know if I've answered it here. That'd be helpful. Okay, the next question. Do you always have to breathe deep into the abs? Okay. What I suggest, when I start with those 3 deep breaths, a lot of traditional Buddhist teachings do that, first of all. And I always wondered why as well, so good for asking. When you start with something like 3 long deep breaths, it's almost like, everyone in my advanced class will talk about this, is that, that means I'm meditating. It gets you an association with it. It's good to start in a consistent way. So you don't have to do that, but I do recommend doing that. It's almost like setting your mind up for the beginning of meditation. And there is a lot of work that I do with chakra. So again, if people aren't familiar, don't worry about it. But the sacral chakra, which is the abdominal region, breathing in and out of that region helps us to release emotion, gets us prepared again for meditation. So it's quite a good thing to do. Hope that again helps. If not, bring something up on the Q&A or the chat here. Okay, Sadiq, And do you try and look inside also? What part are you meant to focus on in the body? Do you try to look inside also? What part are you meant to focus on the body? I'm not sure I understand it, but let me try. And as I'm talking, Sadiq, put that question out again if I'm not answering it for you. When you're focused on the body, so very specific to the body scan, because there's other meditations we can do, but this very simple body scan meditation is simply to allow yourself to be aware, like I'm talking about tuning in, you know, I'm just not connected with my body. When we're talking about that connectedness, gosh, what's going on in the body, to be aware of it, allow it to happen without trying to get rid of it. That's the first step, this idea of awareness. Awareness first and then release, okay? So when we're letting go of physical tension in the body, it's, I didn't even realize that area is tense. Goodness me. And then we allow it to be released with ease. And I hope that helps a bit more with that. Okay, so, and you try. I'm going to go to the next one. How do you stop yourself from getting so relaxed that your mind wanders for ages? Ahaha. Okay, good. This idea of getting so dozed out, you're absolutely right. There's this, again, kind of pendulum, the two extremes being dozy, lazy, falling asleep. The other one, high awareness, almost too keen, yeah? You know, you're all tensed up. And what we're trying to do is kind of balance that, yeah? So this awareness of mind, you're always kind of in the background checking, where's my mind at? Oh, it's off. Don't be frustrated with that. The key thing is you're building awareness through this practice. So you go, oh, the mind is over there. Goodness, okay. Simply bring it back to what you're supposed to be focusing on. So knowing that you're supposed to be aware during meditation, yeah, allow yourself to relax, but with awareness. So it's hard to explain, but I remember when Alan was just originally teaching me about this, what I'm talking about, is I didn't realize, now I almost feel, so what he tried to explain to me is this, you know, awareness with deep relaxation. And now it's almost like sometimes I'm watching myself sleep, if that makes sense, because my body is so relaxed, but my mind is aware of it. It's a different sensation. So again, just by remembering that I'm trying to be aware during meditation will alleviate that somewhat. Okay? Hopefully, again, that answers your question. Oh, good, Joe, I answered it. Well done. Okay. Thanks. I could hear you but not see you. Oh, goodness. I don't know what was going on with that. But it seems the others did see. So I'm not sure, Isabel. I'm going to pose that question to the people that with the webinar technology and see what setting maybe is off on yours. So thank you for pointing that out. I will talk to them. I can't help you right now, but it does seem that there's probably a setting on your side because it seems the others have seen it. If that's not the case, folks, please let me know. Okay? Any other kind of questions? And actually, I meant to stop that slide sharing so that you can actually see me. Hi. It's better to be talking to a person than a slide. So we have a couple more minutes. I kind of rushed through those questions thinking there was a lot coming at once. Let me see if there's anything else I can answer. It does seem that I think I answered most of them. And if that's not the case, again, get back to me. Thanks. Okay. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes left. Oh, here comes. What is Alan's full? Oh, Alan Wallace. Alan Wallace. It's Alan with 1 L, Wallace with 2. Okay. Yeah, and there's lots of information about him. He lives in Santa Barbara in the United States. He did live in India for many years with the Dalai Lama in that region. Well, he was a monk. He was up in the mountains for a while as well. But he teaches it, and if you're interested in, you know, some of his work, he comes to the UK. I'm on the board of a charity for his work. So he does come to the UK, usually at least once a year. He's going to be in Tuscany later this year. So there is some things that it's hard to get in, but there's potential for you to do that. But look him up on the internet, okay? Cool. Okay. And I think actually we've got 2 minutes left. And the reason I rushed through is because they do cut you off at that moment. So again, if there's anything else, please let me know. Hopefully that was helpful. And what I would suggest, coming back again to just repeating the webinar, if you have some time to do that, even if it's the chunk of just the meditation, and I'll be sending you a guided meditation, get started with that and sign up for the next webinar if you can. This is a tough one. Yeah, thanks, Joe, because it's on everyone's mind, is good books. And unfortunately, when I first started, I didn't find many books that were useful. I find there's a lot of great books as you progress, and I've got a huge bookshelf over there full of them. I would start with Alan's books. I like a lot of Louise Hay's books about affirmations and so on, how you can use that with meditation. But it's tough. There probably is some good books. Maybe someone else can recommend one. But at a beginner level, I haven't found anything that I thought was really that great, because I think that's the bit at the beginning where you need a bit of a kind of push. Yeah. One more question. So the focus. Let me just make sure I can. Okay. One more question. So the focus is to check or scan the body for tension, then relax. Okay. What we were doing there is scanning the body, yeah, an awareness of, okay? So when you find a place, maybe it's your shoulder, that you think, oh, there's tension, then it's simply to allow the body to relax. This is just one technique, okay? There's numerous, but that is the purpose of this particular meditation, is to be aware, tune into the body, and then allow it to relax, yeah? So it's tuning in and then saying, gosh, just please ask your body to relax. Use the breath to move through that point. That's the point. Okay, I think we might be getting kicked off. Hopefully that answers most of the questions, but feel free to contact me afterwards. Again, next month there's a webinar, classes if you're in London, any of those things if you want further explanation. And I think I did put up the website so that you can get access to that. There's the advanced class. If you've been practicing more than a year, that would be for you. And I'm saying consistently. So if you've practiced, for a year, but you've only done it for a few weeks, really, that's not quite enough to fit into that class. There are the beginners classes. All of them are taught in St. John's Wood, and the information is on the webpage about cost. And I do them once a month. I find, actually, I've done statistics on it for the last 5 years in my classes. And generally speaking, that seems to be when people can commit and actually get the most success. That's why they're once a month, okay? So there are many forms. Yes, there are many forms. Oh, I'm pleased. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, there are many different types of techniques that you can use for each of these steps. And the reason I teach a number of techniques, well, there is so many, first, but also you have to pick something that resonates with you at that moment, okay? And so it's important to get as many techniques under your belt, in your repertoire, so that you can move to something else when you need to. You don't have to use all of them, but be exploratory, see what works for you. Don't do what works for me. Do what works for you, and over time you'll see that more. Okay, great. So I'm going to end it there. But again, if you have any questions at all, just give me a shout. Okay, great. Thank you guys for being patient listeners as well. Cheers. Bye.